We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavato Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Panchadasi, chapter 5, Mahavakya Viveka Prakaranam. Upanishads reveal a very unique subject in all of us, which is not normally known by any human being. This subject matter, which is the core essence in all human beings, is the same essence behind the whole universe, is the declaration of Mahavakya. Normally, we search for the creator of the universe externally in the world. Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutra teach us that this essence of the universe, the creator, in other words, God, is not outside us, it's not inside me, but it is me. The revelation of this truth is the subject matter of all the Indian scriptures. A very thorough study of Upanishads is required to understand the deep essence behind the Veda. Very, very thorough study. It's a very systematic study, number one. It is a study with some commentaries by acharyas, because it cannot be done by oneself. It requires listening to the Upanishads with the help of a teacher. Now, we have seen 4 verses out of 8 verses. Today, we are going to take the 5th verse, and it deals with a very important Mahavakyam called as Tattvamasi. This is the most popular Mahavakyam. In all the Upanishads, you will find Mahavakyams. But if you ask me one Mahavakyam which is extremely popular is Tattvamasi. You are that. You are that which you are searching for. You are that. That is what the Upanishads are trying to reveal to us. I'm trying to search what is me, who is me, what is the nature of me. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I wake up and say, I am. Aham. Throughout my life, from birth to death, I live with the notion of I. What is the nature of this I? How can I know the inner essence behind this I? Is the subject of this chapter 5. And Tattvamasi is extremely important Mahavakyam which we are going to study today. Let's go straight to the verse. verse is from Chandogya Upanishad, and Chandogya is from Samaveda.
Ekmevadvitiyam san, ekmevadvitiyam san, Namarupa vivarchitam, Namarupa vivarchitam, Srishthe puradhunapyasya, Srishthe puradhunapyasya, Tadriktvam tad itiryate, Tadriktvam tad itiryate.
Swami Vidyaranya in this verse reveals Tattvamasi exactly like the way Chandogya Upanishad reveals it. How does Chandogya reveal this Mahavakyam? It says that we are all experiencing a creation. The creation consists of objects. In the view of Upanishads, the body and mind, my body and mind is also a part of creation. This is the first thing we should understand. Don't stand apart from creation and look at your body. So number one is look at the creation in totality. When you look at the creation in totality, then you try to find out what is the cause of this whole creation. Creation consists of Panchabhutas. And my body is also made up of Panchabhutas. So there is nothing wrong in considering the body, mind also as a part of creation. Now, there is a reality. A reality means, in philosophy, God is called as reality. Now, this entity was existing before creation. Very simple, because if something has to be created, the creator has to exist before creation. Number one. Number two is that what is the nature of that creator? What is the nature of that reality? That is being expounded in this verse. It was one without a second. Ekam eva advitiyam Brahma. That is the word which is used in Chandogya Upanishad. Now, this was without name and form. So the definition of Atma is Ekam eva advitiyam is the definition of Atma or Brahman. Atma means the essence of the individual body. Brahman means essence of the whole universe. And Upanishad equates the essence behind the body and the essence behind the universe to be the same. One, Ekam. The whole universe is name and form. Like gold is the cause, ring, bangle, chain, all these are name and form. Nama, Rupa, Jagat. What is the cause? Cause is this Ekam eva advitiyam Brahma. Very important to understand this, because If you know the cause, you will know the effect. By studying the effect, you try to go back and see what is the cause. If name and form is the effect, the cause should not have a form. Very important. Therefore, formless is the nature of that reality. Time and space is also born from that reality. Therefore, that reality has to be beyond time, beyond space. Now, that is what is indicated by the word Tat. Swami Vidyaranya says in this particular 5th verse, he is giving us the definition of Tat. So now the word meaning is clear. This Tat existed before creation. The nature of that Tat is it is one without a second. It is formless. It is the Jagat Karana. In Chandogya Upanishad, 9 times Tattvamasi is repeated, 9 times. And in the verse given below here, the nature of that reality is mentioned as the subtlest of all. What is subtle? What is gross? Let me take you from the gross to the subtle. All the objects which we see in the world are all gross. By and large, they are all gross. They are all objects of our sense organs. Name, form, color, all these are all gross. You can see, my eyes can see them. Whatever my sense organs can perceive is called as gross. Sound, it is subtler than form. Smell, touch, taste, these are all objects of the sense organs. Thoughts, more subtle than the objects, external objects which we see. Thoughts are subtler. Still more subtler. Is there anything subtler than the thought? Yes. Shvetaketu is the name of a student, and in Chandogya Upanishad. Uddalaka is the teacher, and Uddalaka tells his son, Shvetaketu, that this subtlest in this creation, you are that. Tattvamasi, Shvetaketu. Realize this truth, that God is not outside in the world, but God is there in you. In you means it is not an object, but it is you yourself. Tattvamasi means, Tvam means you. Tat means that reality. Asi means is. So in the 8th section of Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 6, the father says, I will explain to you, don't worry, don't worry. The son is completely foxed. And therefore, Shvetaketu is taught in Chandogya Upanishad by his father, Guru Uddalaka. There is a verse here from Bhajagovindam, verse number 7. And it says that this is Bhajagovindam is written by Shankaracharya. Very useful to study this right in the beginning of us when you are a seeker. All of us will learn the Bhaja Govindam just to come out of our ignorance to learn Upanishads. We learn the Bhaja Govindam. A very simple text where Shankaracharya says, leave the external world. It is not going to last long. During our boyhood, we are attached to some toys. During the youth, we are attached to some other objects, some other persons in the life. In old age, one is attached to what is going to happen to me. Therefore, Bhaja Govindam says, nobody has the time to know himself. Oh Govinda, that means, oh seeker, wake up. Seek that Govinda. Seek that reality. Govinda means reality. So Shvetaketu, the student, was behaving very arrogantly with his father. He said, if my teacher had known this, he would have taught. But I don't think the teacher knew this. Similarly, here, then, but he had the nature to ask his father, oh, father, teach me this. So the father teaches there Tattvamasi. The entire Upanishad is based on the father teaching his son what is that reality which is behind the universe and which is the cause of this universe. And in the Upanishad, it says this reality is given a title called as Sat. Sat means existence. This particular verse, 5 and 6, may be slightly subtle. It may sound slightly abstract, but that is the way the Upanishads are. The reality is something which is abstract in nature because it is not, it is beyond the sense organs. Now here in the third verse of the first section, there is a beautiful verse which says that by which everything is heard, but you can never hear that. By which what we can think about the whole universe, but it is never thought. What is never known becomes known because of that cause. That is what is the nature of Sat. What is that which is not listened, but it becomes listened? What is not heard becomes heard. What is not cognized becomes cognized. It is all the cause. Again, you see, we are going back to the cause. Kena Upanishad, very similar to this verse is Kena Upanishad. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat vacho hi vacham. That means it is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind. So, indirect definition of Brahman is taught to Shvetaketu. So when the son surrenders, he is taught 9 times by way of 9 different examples. In my notes, I have, in the end of the notes, I have put all the 9 verses where Tattvamasi comes in. You can go through that in your notes, which you have. So what the teaching is, you know the cause, you will know the effect. Exactly like Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad also the teacher was saying, how can I know everything in the universe was the student's question. Is there anything by knowing which I can know the whole universe? In Mundaka Upanishad, the teacher said, yes. If you know the Karanam Brahma, you can know the entire Jagat. Jagat includes Jiva and Ishvara. By knowing gold, I will know all ornaments. By knowing iron, I will know all the products made up of iron. By knowing clay, I will know all the pots made up of clay. The pots can be big, small, red color, blue color, yellow color pots, but all of them are nothing but clay. So if I know clay, I will know the entire products of pot or products of clay. So by knowing this Sat existence, then I can know the whole world. The reality is defined as Sat Chit Ananda. These three words you have to learn throughout your life. You have to keep knowing, trying to understand the inner essence behind Sat, inner essence behind Chit, inner essence behind Ananda. These are three words which are coming from Taittiriya Upanishad. So this existence is there. Even today, right now, it is there. It's not that it was there, it is now changed to this name and form. Name and form is nothing but this Sat. So how do I understand this? It's very easy. What you have to say is, I am that Sat principle. Each one of us has to say, Aham, I am that Sat principle, that pure existence principle. This existence is not a part of the body, it is not a product of the body, it is not the attribute of the body. It is an independently existing principle, which was there, which is there, which will be there in future. This is the only immortal reality in this entire creation. It's immortal. It is always there. What is immortal? Which is beyond time. In the beginning, Sat or existence alone was there. So if I want to know who I am, I should also try to understand what is my nature. In which state am I existing all alone? If I am able to go to that state, do I experience that state? Yes. In sleep state, we are that pure existence. That is a revelation of the Upanishads. Not only the sleep state, it is a continuous presence. I will explain this particular topic when I've completed this entire chapter. I'll be taking one special section of Chandogya Upanishad itself. It's called Prajapati Vidya. It's an extension of Mandukya Upanishad. It's the same exactly whatever is taught in Mandukya will be taught in Prajapati Vidya. So here, this pure existence alone was there. Now from that only came the 5 elements. From the 5 elements came this entire Jagat made up of variety of colors, variety of sounds, variety of smell, variety of tastes. All what we experience in the world is nothing but the 5 elements. That's all. In Vedanta, Jagat is nothing but Panchabhutas. But Panchabhuta is matter, consciousness, Sat is existence principle, conscious principle, sentient principle. So that existence is you, the Shvetaketu. That is what is said. This verse is repeated 9 times. Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Shvetaketu, Tattvamasi, Shvetaketu. So we should remember, when we study Vedanta, we should remember some principles, basic principles. What is one of the very foundation principles? One is that whatever is the cause, it pervades the effect. That means whenever I'm experiencing the world, at the same time, I'm experiencing the Sat. Very important principle. Keep this in mind because it will be very useful to you to realize your true nature. When I say that you are Sat principle in sleep state, it doesn't mean that in the waking you're not Sat. It means it continues. Sat continues in waking, dream, and sleep. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti are the three avasthas. But the essence doesn't change. In all these three avasthas, what is invariably there, present, is Sat. World of plurality is reduced to this pure existence principle. What is this pure existence principle? It is in which there is nothing except itself. Tat stands for existence. Twam means you, the individual. So I in sleep is nothing but pure existence. All of us experience this. Vedanta doesn't give us a new experience. Important point to note, you don't have to search for another new experience. You don't have to go to a mystical experience called samadhi, not required. What is required is understand our current experiences of waking, dream, and sleep. Find out what is the common factor in all of them, which is pure existence, which is pure consciousness, which is beyond time and which is beyond space. It is infinite in nature. That pure reality becomes this ego I. The ego I is the waker plus the dreamer plus the sleeper is called as ego ahamkara I. What is that Sat Chit Ananda? It is Paramarthika Satyam without the ego I. It is the reality behind this body, mind, and the universe. Body, mind, universe have two conditions. Manifest condition in the waking and the dream, partially manifest in dream, fully manifest in waking, unmanifest condition in the sleep state. See, these are all how you understand your own nature. We are all trying, when you go step by step like this, the way I'm explaining to you, all who are listening to the talk will automatically fall into the lap of yourself. Because that is it. There is nothing else beyond that. The essence is, that is the same thing which we are trying to realize in our meditation. Ultimately, we want to reach our own inner self. If I reach the inner self, I have reached Lord. I have reached God. That is the way Vedanta describes myself. And that is this common subject matter in all the Mahavakyas. So this pure existence you are, that which we study is anima, subtle. It cannot be comprehended by the mind, senses, and thoughts. What we comprehend with the sense organs is called as idam, this. And that entire idam is called as sarvam. That sarvam is nothing but this pure existence. So while experiencing the world right now, I can take my mind to the pure inner essence, which is Sat. if I know how to dissect the world, how to dissect myself. That I consists of reflecting material, the body or the mind. That I consists of reflected consciousness, which is in the mind. So whenever I experience mind, it is the consciousness plus the material body, subtle body. So I consist of reflecting material, the gross body, reflected consciousness in the subtle body, and then it consists of original consciousness. Three things. Similarly, so this is what is I. What is idam? The whole world. This, that also consists of reflecting material, which is sthula prapancha. Sukshma prapancha is a subtle world. Causal prapancha, that means karana prapancha, is the causal world. When I remove the word, which is name and form, what I am left with is pure consciousness. When I remove the word means what? I remove the reflection of the consciousness also. This is how this reality is explained. Entire universe of names and forms has only existence as its self. As its self means what? As the inner essence behind it. Body has got existence as the inner essence, the core of our personality. The world has got existence as the core of our personality. So in meditation, when I'm trying to look for that core of the personality and I say, I am that Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, which I learned last week in the 3rd and the 4th verse of this chapter, I apply that in my seat of meditation. Vedantic meditation is Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is not samadhi. It is a state with thoughts. I go through whatever I have learned in my Shravanam. I try to bring it back in Nididhyasana. So thoughts are involved in meditation. I am that Sat principle. Aham eva Brahma. There is nothing else beyond this Brahman. This name and form is called as Asat. Asat means it is an appearance. It is mithya. So the word, see, what we have to do is use our intellect to subtract the world from Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Ananda, it's very easy when you put your body and mind as a part of the world. And then it is easy to separate. Oh, there is such existence principle which is separate than the name and form. My body is also name and form. Sat Chit, that pure existence is never born because it is the Karana. Effects are born from the cause. Yourself is this existence which existed before the creation. And the self of this universe is also the same existence principle. That is why I am able to equate Tat and Tvam. Sadeva Saumyam idam agre asid. Ekam eva advitiyam. So what is the nature of this Sat? Ekam eva advitiyam. This is where in this we get this definition of that pure Brahman. Second section of Chandogya's 6th chapter. Chandogya Upanishad The sixth chapter is very famous. Seventh chapter is called as Bhuma Vidya. Eighth chapter is called as Prajapati Vidya. The first 5 chapters of Chandogya Upanishad are all preparations, full of meditations. The sixth chapter is a teaching, Advaita teaching. Sixth chapter is also Advaita teaching. Eighth chapter, 6, 7, and 8, 3 different ways this entire same teaching. It is the same Satchidananda principle, which is taught in 3 chapters. So Sat is the existence. It is the same as Bhuma. The same Sat is called as Bhuma in the 7th chapter. And in the 8th chapter, it is called as Turiya. Prajapati Vidya. Okay. So the world is manifest, unmanifest. It has come out of this pure existence principle. If I know this, I have learned this particular verse. Number 5. Non-dual form, which from this non-dual form came all the 5 elements, and then from the 5 elements came this entire universe. In Tattva Bodha, we have seen the creation. Even in Bhagavad Gita, we have seen creation. In Mundaka Upanishad, we have seen creation. Creation, theory of creation, mainly coming from the 5 elements, grossification of 5 elements into the universe we have seen. This essence is without 3 Bhedas. Creation has got Bheda. Bheda means differences. You are different than I. Body to body, there is a difference. Leaf to leaf, there is a difference. Flower to flower, there is a difference. Anything you take in creation has got differences. Sajatiya, which is called as in generic differences. Swagata Bheda is called as intrinsic. And Vijatiya Bheda means extrinsic. 3 different differences. I have taught this 3 differences in my previous sessions. If you don't know, you can ask me, I can explain to you. You have existence as the self, and the world also has existence as the self. Self is a very unique, powerful word in Vedanta. Self means inner content. The content of the universe is this Sat principle. The content of I, Aham, is this Sat principle. So Sat is the Karanam. It alone is called as real. In Viveka Chudamani, one of the qualifications which is said is Vivekaha. What is Viveka? Viveka between real and unreal. Real and unreal means what? I should know that real means I am real. The world is unreal. World is Karyam, unreal. It is Mithya, and it is only an appearance. How? It's exactly like a dream state. In dream state, what the whole world, the world of dream world is nothing but Mithya. Similarly, when somebody wakes up to this Sat principle, a Jnani will say this waking world is also Mithya. You and I can become Jnani by studying intensely. If we study Sat principle and claim that Sat as our own existence, then I also can say that this whole waking world is also illumined by this consciousness principle, which is an independent factor, and therefore this Jagat, whatever it is in whichever form it is, in waking form or dream form or in no form. In the sleep state, there is no form for the Jagat. But still the existence continues. So in conclusion, what do we say about this whole revelation of Mahavakyam in this verse? Number 1, existence alone is in the beginning. World has a beginning. It has variety, novelty, it has got utility, novelty, variety, utility. And it manifests from that Sat principle, and from into that, the whole universe is going back into, resolves into that principle. So unless until, you see, when we say Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, you must really understand very clearly in your mind that body and mind is a part of world. And then you should try to understand the Satchidana. Then it is very easy. What this is, the world is false, variety is false. But what is the truth? Existence is the truth. Now also, right now, while in this class itself, while you are listening, your mind can go deep within itself to this existence factor. You are part of the universe. You, the universe, are not separate. You and the universe is not separate. Why? Because like the waker and the dream world are not separate, the dream world existed in the waker. Similarly, the waking world exists in Brahman. Existence, Sat, in the beginning and now, what is the difference? The only difference is now it is with name and form. Before it was without name and form. Now, before it was unitary. Now it is diversity. You see variety. Before it was non-different, undifferentiated. Now it is differentiated existence. This Sat is never changing. Continuously it is there. And it is eternal, non-dual, homogeneous. These are all words, but ultimately it is one essence. Akhandam. You see, this is a word which is used in Vedanta. Akhandam. Akhandam means without any differences. One homogeneous mass of consciousness. Mandukya Upanishad says this. All those who remember Mandukya Upanishad, verse number 7, na anta pratyam, na bhish pratyam, that same verse, akhandam, is used. So akhandam means it is existence without any change. Without any form, it continuously is there. This existence is also called as awareness. Same existence is awareness also. So I am aware, I am aware, I am aware is a continuous feeling for all of us. It is never changing, even in the sleep state, that I continues. What I continues, that I, the awareness continues, but I, the ahankara, which is attached to the body and mind, drops off. So when somebody asks the question, who am I? The first question you should ask is, from what reference point you want to know. With the body reference point, it is called as ego I. With the reference to its inner essence, which is Atma, it is called as Sakshi I. So Sakshi I, Ahamkara I, they are two different names given to one entity with reference to two different points of view. Always remember, the cause is always behind the effect. Whenever you are seeing the waking world, the cause is at the same time it is there. It is not that I have to go to sleep and then realize Brahman. No. In every state, Brahman exists. Swagata Bheda means it is internal differences. Like in a tree, you have leaf, flower, fruit. These are all different parts of one tree. Similarly, I have legs, hands, eyes, these are all different parts of the same one body. Swagata Bheda means that Brahman doesn't have any internal difference also. That is why you say that in the sleep state, when you reach the Turiyam state, when you reach that final state, the core essence of my personality, which is beyond the three sharirams, beyond the Vishwa, Taijasa, and Prajna, it doesn't have Swagata Bheda. It exists. And what is that? It is unitary experience, existence. Unitary means there is nothing else except itself. There is no internal differences. There is no external differences. External differences can be Sajatiya or Vijatiya. What is the meaning of Sajatiya? Sajatiya Bheda means in the same species, there is a difference. For example, a coconut tree and a mango tree. Coconut seed and a mango seed, different. Externally, they are belonging to the same tree species, but they are Sajati. In the same species, there is a difference. Vijati means what? It is totally different. For example, a tree and a rock. You can't compare. Different natures. So there is interspecies difference, which is Vijatiya. Sajatiya is in the same species, there is a difference. And Swagata means internal differences between in the tree itself. Internal difference. So now apply these three terms to Brahman. Brahman has no Sajatiya Bheda because there is no second Brahman. No Jati. There are no two. It is only Ekam. Upanishads tell us there is only one reality. It doesn't have Vijatiya because apart from it, there is nothing else. Because that is the ultimate essence of the creation, which is the cause. And in itself, there is no Swagata Bheda because it is Adviyam, Advitiyam, non-dual principle. It doesn't have parts. Nir-avayava. These are all given to us by the Upanishads. Upanishads tell us in Kena Upanishad, it clearly says this reality doesn't have any parts. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says there is no Sajatiya Bheda, there is no Vijatiya Bheda, there is no Swagata Bheda. So in Tattvamasi, there is no Bheda at all. Within it, neither there is something like it, and neither there is something other than it. Therefore, there is no difference in that reality. So, very important point is this particular three words. Yeah, it comes in almost every Upanishad, this particular point about Brahman having no Bheda. That means it is Abheda Swarupa. No Vijatiya means there is no equal to it. There is nothing equal to it. No Sajatiya means no something similar to it. No Swagata Bheda means it is a homogeneous mass of Sat existence or consciousness principle. Even now, after the creation, existence is one non-similar, homogeneous, akhanda Swarupa. No wave without water. Water has independent existence, but wave doesn't have independent existence. Similarly, Brahman has independent existence, but body, mind, and the world, which are effects, products of that creation. Effect has dependent existence. The pure existence is independent Sat principle. So Sat is the whole, this whole verse is boiling down to Sat, description of Sat, which is Ekam eva advitiyam Brahma. When you say ekam eva advitiyam means what? Without sajatiya, vijatiya, swagata, bheda. Ekam refers to sajatiya. Eva reference to gives reference to is referred to vijatiya. Advitiyam is with reference to swagata bheda. That Sat principle before creation exists now as Aham. I. Right now, do you all say yes? Do you exist or not? Yes. That existence never leaves you. If I know that existence principle, I will remain immortal in life. There's no death for that existence principle. That is the essence of the 5th verse. I will now take up the 6th verse. I'll see if I can finish this verse today. It may take extra 5 minutes, but let me complete it.
श्रोतुर्देहेन्द्रियातीतम् श्रोतुर्देहेन्द्रियातीतम् वस्त्वत्रत्वं पदेरितम् वस्त्वत्रत्वं पदेरितम् एकताग्राह्यते सीति एकताग्राह्यते सीति तदैक्यम् अनुभूयताम् तदैक्यम् अनुभूयताम्.
So you have understood the 5th verse. The 6th verse is fairly easy. What does the 6th verse says? It gives us a methodology of the equation. How should I use Mahavakyam to understand that I am the essence behind creation? How? So in this verse it says, when you have got Tattvamasi, there are 3 words, Tat, Tvam and Asi. When you look at Tat, you are saying Tat refers to the Sat principle. So when you analyze the universe, the Jagat, existence portion of the Jagat, you take it as Sat principle. What about the Tvam in Tattvamasi? The Tvam in Tattvamasi, you understand as the consciousness principle, Chit principle. Because it is in this body, I can experience consciousness. In the world, I can experience existence. The sun is, the rivers are, the table is, the mobile is. With anything in creation, what do you say? It is, it is, it is. And when it comes to, so is easy to understand, existence is, it's easy for the intellect to understand isness in creation, which is Tat, which is distant from you. Tvam is the consciousness principle behind the body, mind, and the senses. And that is Chit, consciousness. Do you all feel conscious? Yes, I am conscious. I am. So in the body, that reality expresses as consciousness. In the universe, outside the body, it expresses as existence. And what is that? Asi. Asi is the isness, equation. It equates the Tat with Tvam. The existence outside and the consciousness in the body is the same. It's the same reality. Sat is Chit and Chit is Sat. That is what is the essence of this 6th verse. So Tat, Sat, existence behind the creation is Chit behind the body. Shrotruhu. Of what nature is Shvetaketu, the listener? Now you are listening to the talk. What is the principle by which you are listening? It is the consciousness principle. Who is the seeker of liberation from the body and the senses? Is it the inert body and the senses, or is it a conscious factor which is there in the body? It is the conscious factor. Inert doesn't know that it exists. Like the stone, like the wall, it doesn't know. But who wants to get liberation, moksha? It is a conscious, reflected consciousness in the body. Atitam. So the listener, or the one who wants to get this freedom from this body, who wants to get more immortality, is the consciousness principle. So in this body, there is a consciousness principle. That reflected consciousness is the essence behind the whole creation, is the final understanding of a seeker. That consciousness is not limited. The body is limited, the mind is limited, but the content of the body and mind, which is consciousness, the content of the whole universe, which is existence, is limitless principle. That is why it is called as Atitam. Atitam means it is beyond the world, beyond the body, and beyond the mind. Water is what? Let's look at water. Water is in the wave, yes. When it is in the wave, it is called as immanent principle. 2 words used in Bhagavad Gita and in many Upanishads. So when the water is in the, when you look at the wave, there is water in it. That is called as the immanent portion. The same, when you consider, is the water beyond the wave, beyond the name and form? Is there something called as water? Yes. That water, when you consider, which is beyond the wave, name and form, is called as transcendent principle. 2 words, but still these words, they help me to understand, reach that inner essence in me. So when you say it is beyond, consciousness is beyond the body, existence is beyond the world, it means it is immanent and transcendent. Okay, these are all very beautiful notes. If you go through these notes, use these notes, you will arrive, use these notes. You have now learned how to use these notes. Use these notes, ponder over these topics, and you will reach the self very easily. Reality can never escape cognition because it's always there. Body and mind can be sublated. It is falsified because it is there in the waking, it is not there in the sleep state. It becomes avastu. What is the vastu in the entire creation? It is this Satchit principle, the only reality, illuminator of this universe. So, Tvam Pada Irhitam. You understand this Tvam Pada. How do you understand? The consciousness in the Tvam is the Sat principle outside in the world. So when you want to know the reality of the wave, ultimately wave is only name and form. You remove the name and form, what you get is existence. Amness. I am. When you say I am, that cannot be sublated. That is unsublated. It can never be sublated, unsublated essence. Tad aikyam anubhuyatam. So the author says, try to understand that oneness between you and the universe. Don't stop with clarity in Shravanam. Till you enjoy Mananam, keep on doing Shravanam. quieten the mind, see in yourself this existence factor as yourself. Ekam eva advitiyam is the essence of each one of us. It is the homogeneous principle without the three Vedas. So any cognition of the universe is always with Sat and Chit. Sat remains the same, that is why it is called as real. The five sense objects are coming and going. That is why it is called as Vacharambanam. It exists in the tongue. Name and form is Karyam. It is an effect. It's an effect due to what? That Shakti. Don't forget, there is a Maya Shakti which is associated with Brahman. That Maya Shakti projects this universe. It also resolves this universe, this entire universe of five elements. Deha, Indriya, and Jagat are all Upadhis. Upadhis means what? Media. For what? They manifest what? This Upadhi always manifests something. Like the moonlight manifests what? Sun. Sun is existing. Moonlight is manifesting sun. Similarly, body, mind, and the world are manifesting the Sat and Chit principle, which is Lakshyartha, which is behind the Vachyartha. Vachyartha means it is what is used in the direct meaning. I'm going to explain these two words later, but I'm just trying to explain to you that whenever I say aham, the vachyartha of aham, the direct meaning is the body and the mind. But indirect meaning is lakshyartha. Lakshyartha is consciousness. Okay? So behind the upadhi of the world, behind the thoughts, behind the gross body, ultimately what exists is Brahman. That Brahman is nothing but your inner core essence. With that, I will stop today's talk. And next 2 weeks, there is going to be no class as announced in the last week. Today is the 5th, so 12th and 19th of April, there will be no class. And the next class of Panchadasi will be on 26th of April. We will do the 7th mantra. It will take 2-3 sessions to finish up this chapter. 7th and the 8th mantra are dealing with I am Atma Brahma, Mandukya Upanishad. Very beautiful Upanishad. We'll study this 2 verses next time. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you have any questions, you can just ask. You can unmute yourself and ask the question. So next 2 weeks, there won't be any sessions, yeah? So the next session will be on the 26th.
Shikharji,
Yeah, Preeti?
yes, you said reflected consciousness
Yeah,
seeks moksha.
correct. Reflected
Uh,
consciousness is the jiva with the mind.
yes.
So reflected consciousness alone, it's not alone, it is with the mind. That is the jiva. Jiva's definition is reflected consciousness with the mind. There is no reflected consciousness without the mind. Otherwise, it is pure consciousness. So it is the jiva which wants to know who I am. The I, ultimately, the I in this body is the ego I. That ego I is nothing but it's a reflection of that pure consciousness in the mind, which wakes up every day, which goes to sleep every day, which dreams every day. That essence which is there in this body is seeking liberation from this body. And the only way it will get liberation is to know that I am that pure Satchid Ananda, which is ever present. It is not present only in the Turiya Avastha. It is present in the Jagrat, it is present in the Swapna, it is present in the Sushupti. That is how you should understand that Jiva. Is it clear now?
Yes, Shikharji. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Anybody else has a question? Okay, if there are no questions, then we'll stop here. Yeah, Ajita?
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
This Sajadiya, Swagata, and Vijadiya.
Correct.
Yeah. Sajadiya means it is similar.
Correct. Similar species. Similar. Always remember the example. If you remember the example, it will be very easy.
Yeah.
Mango tree and a coconut tree. Treeness is common, but mango tree is different than the
A coconut tree.
coconut tree. That is
Yeah.
Sajatiya. Sajati. Jati means species.
Yeah.
Means within the species there is a difference.
Yeah.
Vijati means it is away from the species. It is not comparison between the same species, like a tree and a tree. Here Vijati means it is stone and a flower.
Stone and flower.
Yeah, it is. There is no commonness between them. It is not. They don't belong to the same jati. That is why it is called as Vijati.
Okay.
And the third one is called as Swagata. Swagata means within itself. Like in a tree, there is a flower, there is a leaf, there is a branch, there is a trunk, there is a root. Now the flower is not the root. Flower is different than the root. Therefore, there is a difference between a flower and the root. Now, what Upanishad is saying is Ekam Eva Advitiyam. When it says these three words, there are commentaries written by several acharyas on these three words of Chandogya Upanishads.
Okay.
So the commentators, they write and say that when we say that Brahman is Ekam, it means it is Sajatiya. When we say Brahman is Eva, means there is no Vijatiya. That means there is only one Brahman. See, when there is only one thing ultimately in reality and the whole creation, Chandogya Upanishad says that there is only one reality. That means there are not two Atmas. There is only one Atma. That Atma is expressing in this body, in your body, my body, in your daughter's body, everybody's body. This Atma is there. That is why we say it is a reflection.
Okay.
And the Swagata Veda means inside in Brahman, there is nothing else. It is pure consciousness, which is our experience in the sleep state. Suppose you remove the ignorance portion, that you don't know yourself in sleep. Who are you? Pure consciousness, pure existence. That is the ultimate which the Upanishads wants to make you reach, to make you see that. Not see that with the eyes. It is only through understanding of the three states, you are able to understand the essence behind the three states.
Yes.
Now it's clear?
Yeah, it is Ega, Brahman Ega, that is Sajadiya. Sajadiya means
Yes.
different trees. That is example.
There is no other Brahman.
No other Brahman. Ega.
Eva means there is no Vijatiya. It's another way of saying that there is no there is no difference between two Brahman, because there are no two Brahmans.
Yes.
And then Swagata Veda is the Advitiyam. That Advitiyam word describes non-duality. Non-duality means what? It is not. It is ultimately all three words are only revealing one essence.
Okay.
We can't even call it Ekam. That is why it is called as Advitiyam. Dvitiya means it is not two. It is not plural. It is not dual. There is only one reality, and that is why we call it as reality. You know, it is always there. It is that way it is called as Sat principle. It is always shining in its own nature. That is why we call it Chit principle. And we call it Ananta principle, Ananda principle, because it experiences the ultimate bliss, which can be experienced in the universe, is this Ananda. And that is the absolute Ananda, which cannot be compared. There is no comparison for the Ananda of Atma.
Yes.
And it is this Ananda is not limited. It is not conditioned by the body. See, when the body experiences happiness, it is conditioned. Condition means what? It exists for a limited time. All the sense organs are only experiencing finite things in this world.
Yes.
Every time the whole waking state is a finite experience. But what is this consciousness? It is infinite. It is beyond the three states. That is why we say it is beyond the three avasthas.
Three avasthas. Yes.
Okay, very good question.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Okay, so we'll close now, and then I'll see you on the 26th. Nice to see you, Nita, again, and nice to see that you are so sincerely attending all these sessions. See, ultimately you should try to reflect on what you learn. Even if you pick up 5% of the class, doesn't matter. Just close your eyes and tell yourself, I am Atma, and see the feeling which you get. It will be a lot of joy which will be flowing inside you. Because this Atma is something very deep. It is the core, it is the truth. Everything else which you are experiencing is Anatma. It is sorrow. Because it is limited. Whereas Atma is continuously there. In sleep state it is there, in waking state it is there in the dream state. This Atma is there when the body drops. I may not be able to experience the Atma or experience the body also. Exactly like what? In my sleep state today, do I experience anything? Nothing. So the Upanishad is only trying to reveal to me to go through the same state of experiences but change my conclusion about myself. I had a misconception that I am the body, but now with the help of the knowledge of the scriptures, I have the correct vision of the world. I see the world in a different light. When I get the knowledge, I start seeing the world with a different knowledge. When I see the world with a different knowledge, what happens? My mindset changes. The mindset changes, and that is where I realize the fullness in me. When the mindset changes, your experiences is very different. And that is what is called as total fulfillment in life. That joy which flows to you when you understand Veda correctly is something you cannot express in words. Okay, thank you and namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.